welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the Scintillation Adept reward from the GM this week, and also I want to talk about the Grandmaster Nightfall and how to actually just get through it very easily this week. Now I know it's a little bit late in the week, but I haven't really been playing that much, so I thought I'd just put it out and hopefully help people get one of these guns before Tuesday on reset. So for me, charge time obviously always the best masterwork to have when it comes to any kind of fusion rifle. Adept charge time, I don't even know if this actually changes anything, because it doesn't actually change the charge time number, and if it does actually change it, it's absolutely fractional. So it's completely up to you what you put here. I've just got charge time at the moment. I think I've got a bugged impact one that I could use somewhere. I can't remember, but completely up to you on what you use. You want to go with the Viced Stinger origin trait, and this allows you to, while damaging an enemy, the weapon has a small chance to reload the magazine, which, you know, just works alongside rewind rounds as well. So you're just going to constantly be getting your ammo back until you run out of ammo. Bait and switch is obviously an incredible choice. If you can pop off with bait and switch, you can do an incredible amount of damage because but it's always coming back. You don't have to worry about reloading, so you can just, all you need to do is worry about reprocking bait and switch. It's also a strand weapon, which can work with unraveling rounds due to the prismatic subclass. And then over here in column 1, I have corkscrew rifling and extended barrel. You probably want 4-bore here. And in column 2, I have enhanced battery, which gives me an extra bullet, but I lose some impact because I have liquid coils, and it increases the impact damage. It has a slower charge time, but with masterwork and with the adept charge time mod, it's really unnoticeable. So for me, this is my god roll, and I might be able to farm a few more, but that's what I'm going with. I also have another one with the other perk that is really good, which is firing line. Weapon deals increased precision damage when near 2 or more allies. So, you know, especially in something like a GM, when you got people stacking up on each other, you can do more damage here as well. I also have liquid coils on this, but everything else is not that great. So what class setup do you need for this GM? Pretty much this is all you need. The Outbreak Perfected is ridiculous. It obviously kills champions, barrier champions, their shields, but it's also just does incredible amounts of damage. It gets your super back, it gets your transcendence back really quickly if you set up correctly. It's just phenomenal. Best gun in the game. You want a hand cannon, in my opinion, just to, if you don't manage to stop the overload champions with a jolt grenade, this is just a nice backup. I also went with the Lunar Sail because it's solar. There's a couple of things in this that has solar shields, like the heavy shanks, so you want to be able to just take down their shields really quickly. Not it's negligible really, but that's really just there for the overload champions. Speaking of overload champions, you want a storm grenade or any kind of arc grenade that works for you, and you need the fragment that is this one here. Your arc grenades jolt targets, or your void weakens, but we're looking at the jolt right now. But basically, jolt just stops overloads in their tracks, but it also marks them so they take more damage, which is very useful when in a Grandmaster. If you are on Warlock, Song of Flame is just ridiculous. There's an area where you have to stand on a pad for a long period of time, and one Warlock with Song of Flame can stand on there and get over 50% of the pad done without ever having to worry. The only thing that can kill you are snipers, and they're very easy to take out, especially if you have 2 other people with you. Now for me, I kept changing my class on the fly, and I thought, oh, let's try some Aeon Souls. With the Sect of Force, rapid precision hits with a weapon temporarily increase your reload speed and weapon swap speed, but stunning a champion or landing rapid precision hits on a powerful combatant will mark them, and then all allies will deal more damage to them. I don't know the actual statistics of this, but it felt like things were dying super quick, and all I've got to do is use my fast firing Outbreak Perfected, hitting precision shots, and it helps everyone out. So I was very excited to actually make use of these gauntlets for once. So when you run into the very first area, there's going to be one overload champion here. He spawns behind a rock. If you can get a grenade on him straight away, you can pretty much take him down instantly. But if you can't do it like that, just shoot all the little invisible guys that are running around, because sometimes they can get behind you and kill you, and then take out the overload. He doesn't really charge you or anything, and even if he does, you can slow him down with that hand cannon overload mod, and then deal some damage, maybe jolt him, just find a way to take him down. Very first room, very easy. Next, you'll drop down like a little cliffside and you'll be in a little arena room. Here you're going to meet an overload champion and also a barrier champion. The overload champion can be a bit frustrating because he teleports around a lot, but if you can get a grenade onto him, you will instantly just stun him Obviously, you can also use your hand cannon, but for me, as you can see probably in the footage, I'm panicking and I didn't think that my grenade hit him. So I pulled out my hand cannon and then there was something right on top of me, so I couldn't do damage to the champion. But if you just plan and prepare and also wait for your team, which I didn't do, you can take it down pretty much instantly. And then the barrier champion servitor will appear. You just keep hitting him and keep hitting him, keep hitting him with the outbreak perfected, because as soon as he pops his shield, it'll be instantly taken away because of outbreak perfected. The next room you enter will give you the very first kind of sub-boss who throws out a whole bunch of stasis crystals everywhere. Just try and stay away from him because it does reach quite far, and if you get frozen and things explode, you can die pretty much instantly because it's a Grandmaster. Behind the boss, a barrier servitor will spawn, which can actually keep everything around you shielded, so it's very important to get the barrier out of there as soon as possible. There's also an overload champion that spawns here too. So if you can take down the overload instantly, because if it's in the right position and you stun it in the right place and you've got enough damage and debuffs on it, you can take it out instantly. If not, go for the servitor first, because it can shield everything and just make things a lot more troubling. This room's not that bad, to be fair. You just got to make sure you kill the champions. Everything else is negligible, even the boss to the most point, but just try and stay out of his stasis. Next room, exactly the same thing. A boss will spawn with an overload champion. They usually are quite close to each other, so if you look where we're fighting the overload and the boss, if you get a grenade in that general area, you're probably going to hit the overload. If you got your Song of Flame, pop it, kill everything. Then a barrier servitor will spawn. Same thing, kill the barrier servitor and go on to the next room. The next area will be like the broken kind of bridges thing that take you from one end of the map to the other. In this area, there are 2 overload champions. Fairly easy to kill, just make sure you focus on them because they can teleport around and just make things very, very difficult. And also on the one side of the map, there's quite a few snipers, so if you're out chasing the overload around, those snipers can instantly kill you, because I got hit with 3 shots from 3 different enemies at the exact same time and I just dropped dead. So get the overload out of there, the one that's closer to the entrance of this room. Kill all the snipers, and then after those original snipers, there is another overload. He's hiding behind the little pillar. And then there's 2 snipers up top as well. So, you know, just focus on taking out one enemy at a time, or one little small group of enemies at a time. So I think for the Grandmaster, if you don't have the proper setups, this is where you first start to run into problems, because this is where you need to stand on the pad and make it go to 100% before the radiolarian fluid dissipates, and then you can carry on through the map. When you're standing on this pad, shanks will spawn from your left and your right up the top. There's also 2 snipers up on the top as well. They can be quite troubling if you're not taking them down quick enough. The way that we did it was basically Song of Flame, as I explained earlier. One of my teammates had Song of Flame. They went and stood on the pad, got it to about 20%, and then popped their super, which got the whole pad up to about 60%. And I was in the back, killing as many shanks as I could. And then as soon as his was running out, I popped mine, and I went and stood on it to get it to 100%. The only trouble you face here are the tracer shanks, which spawn out in front of you in the open. There's 4 of them usually. They can kill you out of your super, so those are the ones you want to focus on, while your teammates should be focusing on the exploder shanks, because they can also kill you, but they're very, very easy to kill in the air, very, very far away from you. But the rest of this room, straight after you activate the pad, an overload captain spawns down below. Again, same old thing, kill them, stun them, get them out of there. As you're going through the rest of this, a barrier servitor will spawn. So make sure you kill them very quickly. The only trouble you face here is towards the end of this map, before you go into the final boss room. There's 2 Vandal snipers up on each side, 1 on the back wall and 2 on the platform. The 2 Vandals on the right and the left, they are the ones that are trouble, so make sure you're killing them as soon as possible. The rest are at a good enough distance where you can kind of avoid their shots, but the ones up on the left and right will absolutely annihilate you. Alright, when you enter the final room, you are going to be met with a couple of ads down by the pool of water, but also an overload champion. Take them all out as quick as possible, and the boss will spawn. You do not want to fight the boss anywhere other than the left hand little cubby room. So as you enter the room, there's a little section to the left where you can go and hide. This is where you're going to do the majority of this fight from, because you are basically using the 300 method, where all these enemies are going to be coming through a little tiny little walkway for you to stun them, to kill them, to do as much damage as possible. The only problems you have here are wyverns and the occasional overload champion that will go around one of the sides, left or right, and you just need to be looking out for them, because the overload champions can kill you so quickly. There's no map, you have to listen for their teleporting, and just know that if they're not in front of you, they have to be somewhere else. So as the little Hydra and the boss spawns, the Overload champions will spawn. I can't remember exactly how many there are of them, but I think there's 3, potentially 4. They are actually very easy to take out if you get them to come down the little middle walkway where you've seen us fight these enemies, because you can stun them all there. If 2 come in at the same time and you throw down your jolt grenade, you can just wipe them out as quick as possible. You also have your hand cannon as backup. So very easy to kill with the Outbreak perfected. You can switch to your heavy if you want. We just drilled it with the Outbreak and it worked. Once you kill them all, kill all the ads, kill the little Hydra. The little Hydra can be left to its own devices. It barely does any damage. You don't need to worry about it too much. Just focus on the things that can actually kill you. Once you've killed them, kill all the ads, kill the Hydra, everything will disappear. Now the biggest problem in this strike is about to spawn. The little Hydra will return, but Wyverns will start spawning. Wyverns are somehow glitched or bugged or just broken in general, because a little shotgun blast that comes from their shoulder, a single one of them can kill you round a corner. The splash damage is insane, the damage is insane, so you need to kill them as quick as humanly possible because they can instantly kill everyone. We use the Song of Flame here. You got enough resistance to actually run out into the open with all the enemies there and you won't die. You can use the length of time and all the damage that it does to take out all the Wyverns. It's just the easiest way to do it. So if you don't have Song of Flame, I don't know what to tell you. Just be very careful about how you're killing them. If one of them gets into the little room, you could pretty much just be dead and finished. After you kill the Wyverns, then you have barrier champions. There's 4 of them. You need to kill these, and they're so frustrating because specifically where this little walkway is, one of them spawns just on the little ledge above you, but if you go anywhere close to them, they will teleport to the left hand side and then teleport to the right hand side and just literally flick backwards and forwards teleporting, and you can't follow where they're going, you can't shoot them, you can't stun them. It's such a weird thing that happens. The other 3 of them should be out in the pool of water somewhere. One might walk up towards the entrance of the room that you came through. You can just leave that one to last. Focus on the ones that are down in the pool of water in front of you. Get them down and out first. Again, Outbreak Perfected is going to break their barriers straight away, so they're not too difficult. Then, for the rest of this Grandmaster, it's rinse and repeat those processes. Once you get the boss down during this section that we just spoke about, the Overload Minotaurs will come back. Once you get rid of them, the Wyverns and Barrier Champions will come back. Once you've killed all them, it should be the final boss phase. You just take down the boss and finish them off. Honestly, didn't think the Grandmaster would be so easy. So if you haven't done it yet this week, give it a try. Just give it a try. Use the Outbreak Perfected, use a hand cannon, use anything that can jolt. And I think you'll have some fun with it too. Hopefully you've got Song of Flame, because that really helps. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section about this linear fusion rifle. Are you going to go for it? What role do you want? Is it good, do you think? Because I think it's pretty goddamn good. And tell me what you think about this Grandmaster, the Glassway. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.